All right. Are we live? Why are you clapping?
You're supposed to do that to tune the microphone where you're going to be at.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Hello, ladies and danglers. Welcome to What the Fish, presented by Balls Deep Tackle. I am your host.
These nuts. Ha! Got him!
It is I, the Frenchiest fry.
My name is Captain Hook. This is Darth Vader, and we will be your hosts.
What's going on? It's Darth Vader here.
Yeah, as you can tell, we do not know what we are doing. We do not have any experience with sound, and even furthermore, we're using a brand new software that we are trying to get used to.
We're pretty much hillbillies trying to figure this out.
You're a hillbilly.
One step at a time.
You would be the space Billy.
The space billy.
Yes. Anyways.
That's a compliment.
Okay. This is What the Fish, produced by Balls Deep Tackle, and I do not know why you are listening. We are taping today from Intercourse, Pennsylvania. Darth Vader is the resident angler, and I'm Captain Hook, the token idiot for the podcast.
Listen, we don't know much, but we do know we support America.
Why do you have to go with the weird voice to start out? People got to hear your real voice. It's like the first minute of a podcast, and you're over here doing the hillbilly voice.
You trust me on this one.
All right, so you're gonna have to do that for every podcast full time now. That's
all right. I will get into this character.
Isn't it crazy that 100? So our Facebook page is at 170,000 likes. So potentially over 100,000 people are going to be listening to us talking right now about the most pointless thing ever.
The potentials are high.
Yeah, the potential is high for massive failure.
Just how I like to fly my American flag.
That I agree.
Very highly, very proudly.
If you combine Instagram and Facebook, I think we're over 200,000, and they are trusting us to actually do a good podcast.
It'll be a high quality podcast, like our high quality tackle.
So are you nervous that this is going to be literally the worst podcast ever?
Not necessarily, no, because there's a lot worse other things out there, like snowflakes.
Yeah, that's true. And speaking of snowflakes, this has been quite a crazy month, especially social media wise, because we started posting a lot more stuff that's not so much fishing. And if you've noticed, the audience has grown like crazy, and a lot of people got offended. So people that don't know, this is the month that we posted the infamous statement post that pretty much said, if you don't like it, suck these nuts. And a lot of other politically charged memes and pictures and videos, because after all, this is 2020, it's a weird election year, and we do not want to see Joe Biden in office.
Listen, guys, we do not negotiate with terrorists out there, all right?
I think he forgot that he's a terrorist, Joe Biden. He
forgot a lot of things.
Yeah.
I think he forgets he's running for president.
I saw a funny picture the other day that said, I'm Joe Biden, and I will beat Donald Reagan this year.
Yeah, that's about accurate. I think during one of his rallies, if you could even call it that, more like him and the camera by himself, he was saying we have to elect Donald Trump. And I think he forgot he was running for president and actually said we need to elect Donald Trump. And I was like, right on, brother.
If that is true, that's very bizarre.
They got a video clip out there somewhere on the interwebs. It's pretty good stuff.
So we'll give a rundown of this month and why it's been so crazy. So we started off around I think June 8th. We posted a picture that had Kaepernick and then Chauvin, whatever, the guy that kneeled on George Floyd. So it said Kaepernick, and it said Kaepernick kneeled and changed nothing. And then it said, this man kneeled and ended a pandemic. Alluding to the fact that once the guy kneeled on George Floyd, everybody started rioting and protesting, and all of a sudden, quarantine was no longer necessary as long as there were riots and protests that would, everybody's fine. You can't get coronavirus if you're a rioter or a protester. But if you so much as go to the grocery store, then you can get coronavirus. So the picture was meant to say that all of a sudden you can riot and protest and not get coronavirus, and that's very hypocritical. But everybody, of course, took it racially and said that we're being racist and this and blah, 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 when really it was just a statement on the fact that you can now gather safely after months of stay at home and be scared.
Yeah, essentially it's there's some kind of agenda being pushed for sure, and that's kind of what it's about. It's like you can basically go out there, cause a bunch of civil unrest, and some of these local governments aren't going to do anything, but the minute you go to a Trump rally, they're like, oh, well, hold on, coronavirus. So essentially, that's, I think, what's going on.
Yeah, and that was, a month ago. Now we're a month later, and they're, saying the whole second wave, the whole this and that. And luckily we live in Oklahoma, where we don't have to deal with those kinds of people in protest, because a lot of people here have guns.
Yeah. So essentially, there's some states out there that will, thankfully, they're conservative, and that basically won't allow that stuff to happen. So I think there's a case out there. Actually, just recently, I heard on the news that basically that the guy. He basically, I think it's an attorney out of Oklahoma City, that they're going to try some of these people that were burning and rioting. They're going to try them as terrorists, or at least the fullest extent possible. So, quote unquote, they said it's not. This isn't Seattle. So I mean, yeah, there's cities out there that are, enforcing the law, if you will.
That makes sense. Now, I'm not sure, but is your gain over there on a quarter? I think your mic might be a little bit over. Cool. Okay. So I think we're good. So yeah, that happened, and then literally within hours, the next day or two, people were calling for, apology, lashing out at us, lashing out at the Post and Balls Deep Tackle, and so of course we quickly put out a statement, as all other companies did, and I'd like to read you that statement real quick since you're new to the podcast and maybe you didn't see the post. And it goes like this. It has come to our attention that we may have offended some people in the past few days. It is with deep regret that we did not issue this statement sooner. Our statement is as follows. We apologize for nothing. Suck these nuts. If you don't like it, suck these nuts. If you think that we care that we lost customers, suck these nuts. Matthew M., especially, you can suck these nuts. And on the post, it was a guy that had commented and said, his comment was, quote, I bet you'll release a statement saying that you're sorry if you offended anyone, it was in bad judgment, please forgive me, etc. And so we responded to him with that, and then he came back and said, I want to wager that this will either be taken down or you'll take it down. You want to make a wager? And our professional reply was, I want to wager that you can suck these nuts. So that, of course, got a huge reaction and led to a ton of support because, in effect, cancel culture can suck our nuts.
That about wraps it up right there.
Yeah.
I mean,
so what was your reaction when you first saw the picture, saw the reaction, and then after the statement?
What was my reaction to that? Well, essentially, we don't negotiate with terrorism. That's my reaction. It's, like you said, that there's, all this cancel culture going on, and everybody's out there trying to lop heads off, and not everybody, just a certain demographic, or not, certain political side, trying to go out there and just, pressure these companies to close doors, or, change their branding and things like that, or all these demands, and some of them obviously without any reason, just as an explanation that for instance, these companies like not selling guns anymore, or trying to go after these gun companies for basically doing nothing. They did no wrongdoing. And so that's just, that statement is in a nutshell saying no, we're not going to bend or bow to that ridiculous cancel culture.
And what these people don't realize is not only is our audience looking for a company to stand up and have some balls, like the cancel culture is only going to make it stronger. Like the people coming out and doing this and saying this, all they're doing is galvanizing and making the people that are against all this BS look for someone that is actually taking a stand and follow that company. Because when you're a company like Starbucks and you sell to a bunch of weirdos and liberals, you got to kind of be the no backbone company. But whenever your audience is conservative minded, maybe more in the southern southeast, that's just not going to fly. And I can't stand companies that do that. First of all, like Aunt Jemima, how are you going to change the name of a syrup because somebody got offended? Like, I don't see that. I don't see that as a good thing. And even the CEO of Barstool Sports came out and he was talking about, screw cancel culture. They essentially are making them stronger because people are looking for an escape. And whenever they go to Barstool Sports, they just want to read a joke or get away from it. And I feel like we're kind of the same. It's like people want to, laugh and get a funny product. They're not looking for someone to, like, force some kind of liberal agenda down their throats.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's kind of like a virus that's just spreads.
A mental virus.
Yeah, it's interesting because as this thing progresses, and years ago, nobody would have thought it would have been at this height and extent where it's affecting these large corporations, and these businesses are bowing to this culture, and it's just not good for America and capitalism as a whole. It's just, especially you can't even go about your day with joking about something funny without somebody freaking out or getting triggered. So it's just not good for anybody.
Yeah, no way. And whenever somebody disagrees with you and they can just immediately call you a racist for no reason, and people actually react to that, I'm not for that.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, if you don't agree with their agenda and their beliefs, then you're automatically deemed a bigot and a racist, which doesn't make any sense at all, considering that's not what I believe. Just because I support Donald Trump doesn't mean I'm a racist. You know what I mean? It's just I enjoy America and I enjoy capitalism, and I don't agree with a lot of it. Pretty much, I don't know if I agree with anything what the left is doing. So I guess you could say I'm a pretty conservative person. So
it was directly after that post that I noticed the sales. We have a shirt that says, "My rights don't end where your feelings begin," and like sales for that shirt more than doubled immediately after, because people were like, "Yeah, I love to tell them that they can all screw off," and that shirt just kind of shows that. We have a ton of shirts just like that on the website, which now we're gonna insert a word from our sponsor. And for all you fine gentlemen out there, if you're looking for fine gentlemen's apparel from a world-class distinguished designer, boy do we have the shirt for you. If you go to suckdeesnuts.com, that's suckdeesnuts.com with an S, nuts with an S, suckdeesnuts.com, you will be able to choose from the choicest, finest shirts that are available for gentlemen such as yourself, in all the sizes that you would want, from, like I said, world-class designers.
Probably the most brilliant minds in the world designing these shirts, and I kid you not about that. So yeah, you want to definitely put your wife on notice for that, and tell her to watch out, because Big Sexy's coming with that Balls Deep shirt, so she needs to watch out.
I do believe that one of the designers was nominated for Nobel Peace Prize, and we are waiting on the results for that, but we're holding out hope.
We're holding out hope for that, and we know that we'll pull through. So
that's suckthesenuts.com. That will actually forward you to our website, which is ballsdeeptackle.com, where you can see a fine selection of Suck These Nuts apparel.
Now back to,
Should we probably talk about fishing at all? Do you think is that appropriate?
Fishing. Yeah, we could talk a little bit about fishing, and I'd like to get to some news topics.
Sure. Yeah.
So,
you got?
Yeah, in the good old fishing community, we have a lot of Balls Deep tackle for you guys. I think we do actually a Tackle Tuesday sale, so you want to be sure to look out for that every Tuesday.
So that's essentially 30% off all tackle.
Yeah,
we do that every Tuesday, all day, every day, and that's something where if you're looking for some balls, you can grab your balls at ballsdeeptackle.com.
They work mighty well, and they if you want to get that bait deep in the waters and tickle them whiskers on those fishes, they work really well. I actually went out this past weekend and caught several bass using multiple different rigs, some weighted, some not. The weights are incredible for getting your bait down low, and we have different sizes for that. So as you can see, we have many photos online of people that catch fish with essentially our nuts. So get yourself a pair, man up, get you some, and go catch some fish with some humor. And get some for your keychain. I saw a guy, he had some on his keychain.
Oh my gosh.
I thought that was a pretty good.
Did you see the picture of the lady that had as earrings? So they were hanging on the end of her earring. And she had like the little hook earring, a little piece of jewelry in the middle, and then like the little quarter-ounce sinkers at the bottom.
That's amazing.
Yeah, she sent a picture of them.
I mean,
it's like wow.
Wow, she might be onto something there.
She might be on.
She might catch her a big one with the earrings. So
yeah.
So if you know what I mean.
I think I do.
All right. Well.
So, that pretty much covers most of the topics as far as what we wanted to get into. So now we kind of make it a free for all. You mentioned some news. We've got comments we can look through. If you haven't seen our posts on Facebook, which is facebook.com/ballsdeeptackle, the comments on these posts are the funniest things you've ever seen. And a lot of people get really butthurt. That's another great part of it. So I'm going to read a few of my favorite comments here from this post, which was our apology post, and which is well over 4,500 comments now. It's ridiculous. But a lot of people are like, well, I'm buying whatever you have to sell, I'm buying because this page is awesome. And that's really funny to see. But one of the best parts is no Band-Aids for pansies. Darla, that's funny. Let's see here. Oh, this one's really funny. So RS, he says, I think you should incorporate the Greek god Bophides as your logo or official mascot. Bophides attempted to overthrow Zeus as top dog. Zeus defeated Bophides by blasting him in the groin with a lightning bolt. And even though everyone has heard of Achilles and his heel, Achilles' heel, now you know about Bophides' nuts.
Both of these nuts. Wow. That took me a second to comprehend that one.
Yeah, you got
that. Combining a little Greek mythology with a little nutology. I like that.
Hitting the dick with the lightning bolt.
That would not be pleasant.
Oh, this one's great. Shane says, this is the best thing I've seen all day. Hands down, I love this country. Well, Shane, you are a true patriot.
Yeah, we love patriots around here in America, so...
Oh, yeah. Those are probably some of the best shirts we have, is like the freaking Patriot ones. A lot of people were like, I don't even fish, but now I got to buy whatever you have. And even though it is Balls Deep Tackle, we have shirts for literally everything. It's hilarious. Over 300 shirts, hunting, fishing, patriotic, Suck These Nuts, of course. Women's shirts, beer shirts, Trump shirts. Get your Trump gear. Get all your Trump 2020 stuff. This guy actually took a picture. It's like a 3-pound bass, looks like. You have any news over there?
Yeah, I mean, I got some news here. How about that St. Louis couple that had their gate broke down and
Was that the guy in the pink polo with the gun?
Yeah, the suave-looking gentleman in the pink polo.
Dude, he's my hero.
Standing his ground, and that's kind of another thing too. Is like not only that, but the whole, the left trying to take away guns, and this was a good example of why it's important to have a gun that quote unquote looks scary. And so this guy was able to defend his life, his property, his wife, and both of their lives with, not even with firing a round.
Yeah.
It's a simple fact that he, showed he had that protection. And obviously the outraged mob, the quote-unquote woke mob, if you will.
Yeah, and they're all really mad about it. They just because he was trying to defend himself, they were all super mad and pissed about it. And I even saw comments saying that his house should be burned down and all this other stuff.
Yeah, there was I just don't understand that. If somebody was to break in their house, break down their gate, threaten them, and go crazy in their front yard, I'm pretty sure that they would try to defend their own house too. So a lot of those guys that are commenting, burn this guy's house down, they would do the same exact thing.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, they would try to call the police that they defunded,
yeah.
which is another hilarious thing in itself. I think those counselors out of Minneapolis, are hired security after they voted to defund the police.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, I've heard about that.
Anyways, that's some news out there. Let me know what you guys think on that.
I'm going to put a PSA out. Due to COVID-19, we're asking that rioters work from home and destroy their own property, please.
Yeah, right at your own house, in your own living room, and see how you like that.
Yeah.
See how your own home likes that atmosphere, your children, and yeah.
Yeah. Everybody says Oklahoma, is a shitty state. I'll tell you one thing. They are not playing around here, any of that stuff. Oklahoma has not been hit by the quarantine as hard, but life has not really changed too much, and there's not the riots and there's not the protests that you see in other parts of the country, because it's just not going to fly here.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, I'm over here in Intercourse, Pennsylvania, and I just wanted to send my congratulations to Oklahoma on that issue of striking down terrorism. So, like I said, this is America, people, and you do not disrespect people as far as being rioters and destroying property and business owners. I think it's crazy that business owners are being targeted for no reason at all. Just glass broken and bricks being thrown through windows and burnt down, and looks like a war zone in some of those cities.
Yeah,
so
no shit. And you have a background in insurance, so a lot of these businesses probably aren't even covered for a lot of this, are they?
No, I mean, a lot of those business policies that cover businesses insurance-wise, they don't cover, a lot of them won't cover civil unrest and rioting. So it's something that you have to make sure you add it on or ask your agent about that. So a lot of these businesses are just out of luck and out of a job and out of their livelihoods, and it's a sad deal. Their lives are equally destroyed, as anybody else's. So I think that's a sad deal.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's probably enough political talk for one episode. It's not technically a political podcast, but I guess it intertwines pretty well with fishing. And, a little history on Balls Deep Tackle. We go back, and, it's been open since 2015. Of course, we sell the patented fishing tackle shaped like balls. And what really started it is, of course, background in fishing. And it's funny that a lot of people actually told us that these sinkers work better than the standard ones because, maybe they're more streamlined, they don't snag as much. And you have a better fishing background than me. I'm just the token idiot on the podcast.
Yeah, so fishing backgrounds. I fished for a lot of different species over the years. The weights work great for any types of fish out there. Obviously, you're going to have to eventually get that bait deep in the water, or where that bait's either stagnant on the bottom. So whether it's catfish or whether you're lake fishing, bass fishing, you're going to have to use some weights. And there's no better option with the sleek hydrodynamic set of just patented world-class balls deep balls. So so recently
up to 6 ounces. Yep, quarter ounce up to 6 ounces, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep.
And a couple of cool fishing news around the world today is I think there's an Oklahoma guy that caught a possible world record breaking paddlefish, aka the freshwater dolphin here.
What?
As a joke. They kind of look like a dolphin to me, but
Yeah, I see it. I'm looking at the article now.
it's a huge paddlefish. If you guys don't know what a paddlefish,
It's like it ate too much McDonald's.
it looks a little pregnant. I'm not gonna lie. They do get big after they get pretty old, I think too, but they get big. That one there looks like it had its fair share of something.
It's got a 45-inch girth, is what it says. So I'm sure, I'm sure that is quite the fish there.
Yep. An Idaho man. Also, he hooked a massive cutthroat trout. Breaks state record. So an Idaho trout. Wow, trout are amazing to eat. By the way, I love me some trout. I can tell you that much.
So that fish doesn't look that big to me.
The trout or the paddlefish?
The trout.
The trout. Yeah,
I
they
mean,
may not have big.
I guess are they not very big? It says it's a 19.5-inch catch.
So yeah, in that state, I don't imagine that they get that big there, but maybe they do, maybe they don't. Maybe it came down to Idaho through one of the water systems there. But obviously, I've seen cutthroat that they get really big. They get really massive cutthroat trout.
Oh, funny, one of the comments on the article says, I know where to get larger cutthroats than this guy got, and it's in Idaho, but I'm not telling where. Go fish.
There you go. So that you've heard it from the Balls Deep community that there's definitely bigger trout in Idaho. But
Right.
not everybody wants to report.
He's the only one that can prove it.
He's the only one that can prove it. That's
Yep.
that's the way of the fishermen right there, is we can always catch bigger fish. And you always tell your buddies that you caught about 5 more than you really did. That's just the fishing way, the angler way, the dangler
The
way.
dangler way.
Hashtag dangler.
I don't think we've even told people what danglers are.
Dangler. Yeah, that's the community there right there. That's the
The danglers
welcome
are the
in
balls that
danglers.
tackle.
Yeah, wow. Can't believe we didn't welcome the danglers into the podcast. So all you danglers out there, now you know.
Yep. Well, we're at the end of the podcast. We're gonna sign off here. This has been Darth Bader and Captain Hook, and we are signing off for Balls Deep Tackle.
All right, folks.